name's Kirk Talon. Just to give you my background, I was a professional firefighter for 30 years. My days off from the firehouse, I worked at 2 emergency rooms for 8 years, 4 years of ambulance. Grew up in Brazil in front of the beach. So since I was a little kid, man, I've been in the water. Surfer, kiteboarding next, and then been SUPing here for a while. So let me give you my disclaimers first, okay? The reason this is not a certification class, as opposed to the classes I've done in the past, I did a couple of these classes, Live to Kite, is by law, I need a certain amount of time to be able to give a certificate. We found also is that a lot of people from schools and instructors were coming in trying to get, their certs in order. And since everybody that's here is donating their time and equipment and materials, it just didn't seem like a fair thing that, if you're making a living out of kiteboarding and instructing, go get a full class the right way. So I'm gonna do something I've never done before. I've been teaching for over 30 years. I always teach, when we do CPR, I always do adult, child, and infant. I've never not taught a class that has, doesn't have the infant and child component. I've refused to do it. So this is the first time we're really talking about kiteboarding. We're really talking about being in the water. We're talking about adult stuff only. We're condensing first aid. We're not going to talk about snake bites. We're not going to talk about, what to do if somebody has epilepsy. Although any questions you have about medical emergencies, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Oh, it's my anniversary, man.
My anniversary.
Yeah. And Kirk, right there, Kirk married me. So when I went to get married, I said, dude, I don't know what website you have to get into, become a priest or something. And he married me in Pismo. It was awesome.
Right.
So here's my disclaimers for today. We're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I guarantee.
Happy birthday to Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony. All right. So let me start with my disclaimers. Those of you that have kited with me, like Aaron and Kirk, know that I am a mediocre kiteboarder at best. I kite with people that are way better than I am, but I'm like super stoked. I did a couple of the injured kiter clinics in Pismo, and the reason I did those how to approach an injured kiter, not just from my experience, but one of the people that are very, very, very close to my heart will always be in there, Pismo, why do we did the expo at Pismo? Who's the guy? Kinsley, right? Kinsley, man. Live like Kinsley, right? So as you all know, Kinsley had a very serious spinal injury. By the grace of the universe.
That injury was kite-related, by the way.
It was kite-related, absolutely. And so the reason I'm here standing in front of you guys, I feel privileged to be here, and not in a wheelchair. I had a what do they call it? Not traumatic.
Brain hemorrhage?
No, well, every day I have those. I had an injury at a fire, and was told walking into getting wheeled into surgery that I probably would come out of that a quad. Okay, and this has been 12 years ago. I'm walking, I'm kiting, I'm doing all these things, but I really felt for Kinsley because just as rolled the dice, it wasn't me, right? So. So we're going to talk about a lot of things that pertain to this crew. You are all, whether you know it or not, you're type A personalities. Most people, even if you're a shy person in groups, the fact that you choose to go out there and do what we do, it means you're not a wallflower. And so we have a tendency to look at the conditions and go, screw it, it's good, and try to make things work. So the first thing I want to urge you is be honest enough to look at conditions and to be honest with yourself about your abilities. Sometimes it's okay to sit on a bench and see what people are doing and maybe learn a little something. Before injuries, I was fortunate enough in Brazil, I surfed my entire life. If you're a smart surfer, before you get into the water, we're all excited to want to get in the water, is you look at the conditions, man. You time the sets a little bit on a big day so that you know what you're getting involved with. Every single day when I came to work, the first that we did, we had a meeting, got a cup of coffee, you go and you check the rigs, and we checked our equipment like from one end of the truck to the other. The engineer, the guy that drives the truck, they would check all our breathing apparatus. Well, when I wasn't the engineer, even though he checked my breathing apparatus, guess what I would do? I checked my breathing apparatus. The reason I did it was twofold. First one, I want to make sure that the piece of equipment that my life depends on worked. Second reason that I checked it is not that I didn't trust the guy driving the rig. My thought was, if something happens to me, I don't want to live with the question that, you know, maybe he didn't check my equipment well enough. So the engineers knew that, hey dude, there's no offense to you, I'm going to check my gear. When you get to the beach and there's wind, we want to get in the water, right? Everybody, we have that in common. And so honestly, you don't have to raise hands, but since the season started this year, how many people have actually gone through their releases, you know, more than once or twice or 3 times since last season? Okay, so here's the deal. That's your lifeline. I want to throw something that you might not have think about kiteboarding. It's the only sport that I know that you have a primary emergency release, right? You have a secondary emergency release. Kirk and Aaron were nice enough to tell you, bring your knives and we'll test your stuff. The first thing I did when I went to Sherman this year is I'm looking through my gear, went to pull my knife out of my harness. Guess what wasn't there? My knife wasn't there. Well, no, I've done that too, you know, driven all the way to Sherman. So, no matter how competent, if you're a beginner, if you're a pro, you know, a habit, just looking at your release, not enough. You want to actually that it works. Just do it in the beginning. Check it out, man. That's your life. That's what you depend on, you know. I have no shame in with my neck. My ability to do things is deteriorating. And one of the reasons I like having this class with you guys is, please come help me. You know? I'm going to come and help you, but our culture, we have a tendency, I'm an old guy now. I am going to leave kiteboarding. I'm going to leave surfing, wake-upping, freaking kicking and screaming, man. You know, if I have to put a walker on my SUP and go bigger, I'm going to go till I can't go anymore, which means that my ability to get in trouble as my condition deteriorates with my neck and all that, something might happen. Fortunate. So, this in Sherman, our little community at Sherman Island, we knew everybody. Everybody was chill. We'd have a beer with everybody all the time. I go there now, I don't know 3/4 of the people there. Trying to maintain lanes for kites, you know, for stacking kites. Touch somebody's kite and you just, you know, being a nice person, you're trying to put it to the side so that we have a place to land and launch. And aggro people will walk towards you, put my fucking kite down and all this other stuff. So when you see new people at your site, go talk to them. And introduce yourselves. You know, I stopped going for a while because I was just sick of I left surfing for a long time because of the aggro attitude in the water, you know. I was a kid in Brazil, grew up hooting and hollering. When you got a nice wave, now people sit like this and everybody's pissed off in the water, you know. What I like about the kiting community is everybody's stoked. It's a new sport. We need each other to launch. We need each other to land, right? But when you start getting that critical mass, man, you see that attitude start changing. So, you know, say hello to people. If you're going to school somebody, which we need, sometimes you have to tell somebody. I tell people, go, hey, how is San Diego? And they go, dude, how do you know I'm from San Diego? I go, because we don't have 16-meter kites here. You know, that's how I know. So, you know, introduce yourselves. When people make mistakes, and I've done it, we get embarrassed. People are they get aggro. So if you're somebody with, hey buddy, this is the first time here, Sherman, let me show you something real quick. You know, let me give you a tour of a lay of the land. You know, I've put my kite down to show people where not to go. Thing. A lot, and due to what just happened, we lost 2 people in our community, man, in our family, 2 people in our tribe, okay? Different levels of expertise from what I gather. I'm seeing kites down at Sherman all the time, and people don't go anywhere near them, you know? So, any of you guys have had an experience with seeing somebody drown? For help?
No.
They weren't.
A heart attack.
Heart attack. The one you saw, were they yelling for help?
No, so I actually want to second I was a responder to the fellow who died in Christie 2 weeks ago. But I just want to tell everyone here, get a knife. Because if I had had a knife on me, he would probably be alive. You have a knife. The challenge there was, to answer your question specifically, his kite was just powered up and just spinning at top speed. And it was a foil kite. It was too big for the conditions. And if I had had a knife as I was approaching him, I just could have reached in and snipped his steer line. And just blowing one steer line would have killed that kite. But I had less than a minute to get him out of that water and get his head up. And that's how we lost him. So I just cannot stress what you're saying enough, that paying attention, and that was the other thing. Then when I was with him for the next 5 minutes, not a single fucking kiter even looked my way. It was unbelievable. Kite down, my kite's up, just getting slammed. People are kiting right past me. It was shocking. So I can't encourage you guys enough in this crowd, you know, support each other. Be aware, be looking around. You know, as soon as I saw his kite, I went straight to him knowing that's just not a normal condition, right? So go out of your way. I mean, I hugged my foil and everything, and I chased him for a long distance, not even worrying about my board or my gear, right? Just do what you have to do to help somebody and get a knife. I can't encourage you enough. I now have 2 in different locations on my person.
You know, thanks for doing what you did and going after him, man. You know, seriously. No, but here the point is this. You know, wind sports, water sports, we have a tendency, we all want to get some, and we have a tendency to get selfish, man. You know, my wave, you know, my path. People are sitting there throwing, you know, there's a meeting. I love watching you guys because so many people are so much better than I am. And when I follow you and I'm watching you kite and you throw some trick and I go, oh, he's shifting his weight a little bit, it helps me out, you know. But the phenomenal kiters I'm seeing, they're throwing their tricks without a second look behind them, without looking at the lanes, without, you know, because I'm good enough to throw this trick, everybody get out of my way. It takes you a second, man, to just go, okay, I'm clear, and then throw. We need to be each other's keeper, man. There's no lifeguards on jet skis there. We don't have, you know, the situation that you have. We're not pro surfers with people following us all over and caddying our boards, right? If you see somebody with, it takes you 0 effort to just head that way, look at them. Guys, familiar with this? Right here? So for water people, this is international. This means, are you okay? Are you okay? If they get a tap here, you know, maybe they don't know the signal. When you're sitting at the beach, talk to your friends. Let them know, hey, if you get in trouble, you know, wave. But if you're okay, that's a signal. You okay, right? Go by him, man. You know, doesn't take that much away from your time. A hard one. We all like to think that in an emergency, dude, I'd jump right in there, right? You guys heard Trump. If I didn't have a gun, I'd rock right in there where the shooter was. So here's the reality. Water will freaking kill you. Okay, water will kill you. The kite that you're attached to, super fun. That piece of fabric has zero sympathy or empathy for who you are, what you do, how many kids you have. It doesn't care. It's a piece of fabric, all right? So understand that every time that you get involved with something in the water, your chances of walking out are greatly diminished. In an emergency in the water, you have to act. You can't react. You know, you have to look up. Tell people, we're going to say this a lot today. Look up, look down, look side to side. Is anything going to bite me? Okay, now nothing's going to bite me. What's my plan right there? So I was Swiftwater certified forever. Like Kirk, I was a whitewater river guide. When you get certified with Swiftwater, You spend about 3 days learning how to save people. You spend like 4 days learning how to grab the victim by the hair, tuck them underwater, kick them in the chest, and get away from them. Okay? When you're drowning, first thing I'm going to tell you, drowning does not look like drowning. What you see in the movies is not what happens. By the time you figure out that you're in trouble, okay, you probably had some water go down, and your ability to yell help is non-existent. People that are drowning look like they're trying to climb a ladder. You'll see this kind of a movement. It's very silent. There's no yelling and screaming in most drowning. So if you're waiting for somebody to yell at you that they're in trouble, you're not going to get that, okay? The other thing that happens is this. When you think you're going to die, so now you're really in trouble. First you're trying to figure out, am I really in trouble? Now you figure it out. I am really in trouble. So when you're drowning, what are you lacking? What are you not getting? Not getting air, right? Not getting oxygen. Okay. When your brain becomes you can't recognize left from right. You can't recognize I'm sorry, what's your name, sir? Steve. So if I knew Steve really well, right, and Steve is swimming towards me and I'm drowning, my brain doesn't have enough oxygen to know that that's Steve. So here's what happens. Your brain goes, I'm totally screwed, I'm going to die now, okay? Very important, not somebody. You see something swimming towards you. In that moment that your brain thinks it's going to die and it has very limited oxygen, it has enough oxygen to make one decision. And that decision is, wait a minute, I'm going to die, but something is swimming towards me. If I can stand on their head, maybe I won't die. And that's why when you look at drownings, I live in Sacramento. A lot of drownings every year in the river, and the news is never like, little Bobby fell in the water and died. It's Bobby and his uncle Steve and his dad that jumped in and tried to help him all drown. People will literally grab you by the ears and try to climb in your head. When we approach people on a rescue situation, we always approach, if this is my victim right here, we always approach them from the back and we start talking to them from about this distance. Hey, Patty, I'm coming to help you. I'm going to come behind you, okay? Tell me you understand me. You understand me? Yeah. Here I come. Do not touch me, Patty. Don't turn around and touch me. Here I come. I'm getting real close. Touch me. Here I go. Okay, I got you. As soon as you put your hand, 90% of the people drowning, the first thing they do is they reach over and grab you. Okay? At that point, if you did a little bit of schooling, well, brother, I'm going to grab you, okay? Is that what works really well when they grab you is you go like this, grab your hair, and you yank their head down underwater. They let go of you. You kick them. You swim off, and I'm circle Patty. You're going to go, hey, Patty, guess what? You're in trouble now because I don't trust you. I think you might die. I'm going to again. Don't touch me. If you come from the back, now I can help them out. That's a regular type of situation. We even tell people, pool party, and somebody's drowning, and you find them, the last thing we want you to do is to go to the edge of the pool. Here's the water. You're sitting on the water, brother. The last thing I want you to do is to go, that wrist. Now give me that wrist. I don't want to do that, okay? Because they're going to go. They don't want to get out. So we tell people, if you're at the edge of something, you want to lay down, spread yourself as wide as you possibly can, and you're going to pull the person, have them crawl out this way. Because people will pull you in. It's not their intention to kill you. It's just what happens, okay? So, going to the kite thing. One of the things I feel fortunate enough being here is I have, Kirk's been my Buddha. I'm a very slow learner, but the ocean is where I want to be as an old surfer, and Kirk keeps trying to just get me to the right thing there. So when you're looking at the kiting aspect, that's kiting with experience, because you probably have more experience than I do. My experience is like, oh shit, everything went wrong, okay? But here's the things I know from experience. At I keep mentioning Sherman because that's my local spot, okay? So I can't tell you how many times I'm talking to somebody and I hear, ah! And you look and there's some dude just getting drug in front of you, you know? And if you're lucky enough, you can jump in the dude and try to release his kite. But I can't tell you how many times when the dude stops getting drugged, people go straight to the guy getting hurt. And that kite is just sitting there looking for wind. And if it catches that wind, that person's going to go for a second ride, which can be disastrous. If hidden prepared better and you don't really care, let me give you a reason to kill. Kill about 2 or 3 people in your local spot, and guess what that spot isn't going to be anymore? It's not going to be a kiting spot anymore, you know? If somebody is down on the ground, you know, on the beach, we have a tendency to focus immediately. We tunnel vision towards, here's the injured person I'm going to help, and we forget all about that kite that's sitting there. So the first thing that you need to do, if this dude took a ride already and got drugged, that already happened, right? There's not much we can do about that. Kill the kite. Jump on it, sit on it, deflate it, whatever you can do to make sure that we don't have a secondary injury now from that kite going again. Does that make sense? Okay. Once we're going to do things a little bit in reverse order, you know. Steve, details, but a few years back, there was a downwinder from Chrissy to Berkeley, and I was asked to be in a. So what happened that day? There's a lot of people that were super stoked to go on a downwinder, and there's a lot of people that misjudged their ability, that failed to be honest enough, and they just. The count that we about got to with all of the support units was we pulled about 36 people out of the water. About 36 people out of the water. You know the number one problem I had, Steve, pulling people into the boat? My kite. My kite is, and so I'm sitting here looking at somebody that I'm trying to pull in the boat, and I'm looking to I tell you, 30 years in the fire service, I've never rescued that many people in my entire career in a single day. And I'm a pretty calm guy when things go to shit. Dude, my heart was beating the entire time because I'm going, okay, that kite's up, there's somebody there, that person is climbing a ladder, there, dude, hang on. And we're pulling people that way. After 2 or 3 hours, that cost time, I just at the barbecue, they'll get you a deal, I'm sure. And people were aggro. I had people on the boat. I was on a yacht. When that thing showed up, I'm like, holy shit, it was awesome. But I had people hypothermic. I had 4 or 5 people in the boat like this that I'm trying to figure out how to warm and pull people out, and they're arguing and they're pissed off about their kites, okay? If somebody hits the ground and they're conscious, I'm going to show you how to do a quick patient exam, okay? If you have, yes?
People getting aggro, we rescued a guy, we were on a boat as well, and this finger had to be operated on because he said, yeah, my kite's secure, everything's, it's depowered. Your finger off. In that situation, much shit happening, you've got to have control of your gear. And, jumping to cutting stuff, we were not quick enough to cut stuff loose that day. It's a sad thing, but
because we know how it is. But you know what? That material stuff is not as important as
that resulted in surgery.
Yeah. So, you know, think about it. The potential for injury is already there, right? Every time you go out. Having to argue or fight something, it's a problem. Versus an unconscious victim. If you have somebody that's unconscious, the CPR standards now are very, very simple. For pulses anymore, okay? We don't look, listen, and feel. All we do for a check is we look at the chest. If the chest is moving, that's awesome. And then if they're conscious, we're going to act a certain way. If they're unconscious, they can be breathing, but they're passed out, right? They're unconscious. We're going to do things a little bit different. I'll show you how to open the airway. If somebody's wearing a wetsuit, I highly recommend. So, you know, again, I do this for gear that I carry, and I like my gear because I put it together. I don't care where you get a first aid kit, you know, but you should have if you do this. Excuse me. I like my kits because I put them together, you know. So one of the things you want to have in your kit, medic scissors. Because when you're sitting there not breathing, or I don't know if you're breathing or not, I want to look at your chest. I want to look at your bare chest. If you're wearing a wetsuit, off, you know, how about trying to peel somebody else's wetsuit? The other question I have is if somebody's unconscious, right? If a kiter's unconscious, what are the two possibilities or probabilities of what happened to them? Steve just dealt with. Okay? The second possibility. That's my guy that got impacted, that got drugged to the beach. So the possibility of cervical spinal injury, you know, broken bones, good. Right here. If they're unconscious, you have something beautiful that's called implied consent. If they can't tell you they're okay with it, they're probably okay with it. So don't be afraid. You know, and I'll tell you what, man, if you are seriously injured or even mildly injured, and the upshot of this is that, you know, this guy cut my wetsuit and he tried to help me, and, you know, I wasn't hurt as bad as I thought it was, and I lost my wetsuit. This guy's an ass, you know. Sorry. He's pointing that finger at the wrong direction. That person needs to go look in the mirror. You know, you're trying to help him. So don't. Unconscious. I want to look at that chest. All we're looking for CPR. If you don't see a chest rise, we're going straight to compressions right now. Okay? Make sense so far? Okay, so I'm gonna use the people I know I can touch. Kurt, can you help me out, buddy? And where's Aaron? Come here, Aaron. Help me out.
No implied consent here, man. I'm conscious.
After all we've been through, so buddy, just lay down on your back, and Aaron's gonna help with some stuff, just on your back. So we're gonna go with the conscious on the thing first, right? Smack, smack, smack. The last guy that I managed, and you are conscious, you're just going, ow! Ow! So the last guy, I was fortunate enough, I mean, as he's going by me, I just reached over, no skill involved, okay? Pure dumbass luck. But as he was going that way, I put my hand on it, I grabbed his release, and the kite released. So, yay for the universe helping me out, right? Realistically, man, if you can yell down the line, hey, kite, jump on that, you know, and somebody can jump the kite. So we're going to say for all intents and purposes right now, that kite has been... Don't cut my lines, yeah. You bring images back to my, you know. I had a little blind lady at a restaurant. The restaurant, they used to bring peanuts, and you'd throw the shells on the ground, so the whole thing was sawdust and peanuts. Little blind lady came through, and she slipped, and she broke her femur. And this little splint, no, these are my new pants. You can't come. They're like pulled. You know, expose the leg. where you are that there's an emergency situation, people have a tendency to look. Eye contact. Right? Same kid falls down. There's nobody around. They go. Right? Grown-ups. Adult falls. What do they do? Adult person. I'm a little bit afraid of tattooed people. You know, they're shady, man. Tattooed people, you can't trust, they're shady. So, what's your name, brother?
Jason.
If Jason is down, right, and he goes, I'm gonna get up, and I go, hey, Jason, buddy, you hit pretty hard, I'm concerned about you, let's just get you checked out, right? If Jason goes, no, I'm getting up, and I go, brother, come on, man, just... You know, it's... I guess you can get up, man. I just hate to see you in a wheelchair. And most people go, what do you mean wheelchair? I go, dude, I don't know. You could have a crack of, you know, I don't know, dude. I don't have x-ray vision. I try to be safe than sorry, but, you know, if you're okay with a wheelchair, breathing tube, I guess get up. Most people are reasonable. If you show concern, instead of like, you know, I'm a doctor, a medic, or whatever, and I'm telling you to stay down. This crew, I know this because of what we do. We're not really cool with people telling us what the hell to do. We're not okay with it. But man, even a tattooed guy has a really hard time arguing, brother, I'm so concerned. I'm just concerned, man. You hit hard. Let's just be safe. Let's just make sure you're okay, you know? That will win people over most times. Make sense? So if I have somebody that's awake, I'm gonna show you guys something. It's gonna take me 2 minutes to show you this. You can never do it for 10 years. 10 years from now, you have the occasion, the opportunity to do this. You can save somebody's life, man. Easy to do. I'm gonna show you a quick patient exam, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Aaron over here to take my roll. and holding the head. Now, before he does that, really important, if you're the person that comes to the injured, guy or gal, and you do this, dude, this is a commitment. You're committed now. You can't pull your hands on their head. Hey, Jason, can you call one? Hey, Steve, back of my car, there's a... Can you get that for me? Dude, put your hands on this person. This is where they stay. Make sense? Don't take it comfortable. Your only job here is to comfort the patient, let them know, hey, buddy, we're just going to check you out, make sure that you're doing okay. All right? If you're going to point it, do so before. He's conscious. He can answer questions, all right? Hey, Kirk. Dude, that was stupid. He married me, for God's sakes. We have that relationship.
Just when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, okay. You hurts them, chief for that. But that's the complaint of the patient. What hurts you? My ankle hurts. Okay. Anything else? No, man. My ankle really hurts. When you start doing this exam, I'm going to show you. You hit a part of their body that matters, and they go, "Holy shit! Don't touch me there again." Okay. That wasn't their complaint until you touched it. So the reason we do this, especially if you're in remote locations, emergency medical services might take a little bit of time to get there. If I can meet the fire engine, if I can meet the ambulance and say, hey, it's my buddy Kirk, he took a tumble on the beach, hit pretty hard. His main complaint was his ankle, but when we did an exam, we found out that, on his belly right here, man, doesn't feel good. That is such a step ahead for those medics that are responding to know that you found. Because did you ever read the obituary? Joe Schlo died from his turned ankle? No, right? So check this out. Can you go ahead and hold on his head again? So this is how fast you can do this. Most of us are pretty symmetrical left to right. So I'm not big fan. I've seen some EMTs and some medics do this check. They check the right side first, then they check the left side. I don't like that, okay? If I do, buddy, just let me know if it. Awesome. Here's what I'm looking for. If I palpate here, your clavicle is one of the most commonly broken bones in the body, right? If I go like this, that's a pretty good sign. Something's wrong. And I go here, if there's a difference, I may or I may not catch it. But if you just do both sides on everything at the same time, if something's different, there's a really good chance you're gonna catch it, okay? So check this out. So remember, when I press your stomach, you're gonna scream just like that again, okay? Okay, squeeze my hands. I'm looking for equal grips, right? If one side is strong and the other side's weak, maybe that's the side he hit. Maybe there's an injury right there. On a, it's gonna do this. On a female, I'll tell her, hey, I'm gonna put my hand like a karate chop on your sternum, especially if it's an impact where they might have bounced off of something. So I'm just gonna put my hand right there and just push like that. I'm looking for him to either grimace or for him to go, oh, hey, ow, you know? That's what we're looking for. From the chest, I'm gonna go down to the rib cage. All you're doing is you're gonna put your hands, take a deep breath for me, and let it go. So you guys see hands expanded and contracted the same. If you ask him to take a breath and you get this, the other not moving, you don't need to go, maybe there's a flail chest or a broken rib. It's just to make a mental note, let the medics know that that happened. Number one rule for an injured person, number one rule is don't move them. We do not move injured people. There's exceptions for that. If they're drowning and they're in the water, we have to, right? If they're in the car that's on fire with flames coming out into the engine compartment, we have to move them. Anything else, there's no reason to move somebody unless they're face down, not breathing. We'll talk about that in a second. So because I'm not supposed to move them, I can't visualize his back at all, right? When the medics show up and they put on a backboard, when they flip him in the backboard, they'll check that. But we have some areas in our bodies, some natural spots where we can check a little bit. So one of them is your lower back, okay? So if you take your hands, first thing you do is you go, I apologize, and reassure them I'm not touching you there again, but make that mental note, because when the emergency services get there, that's a big freaking thing right there. Make sense? So from there,
I don't like this look.
what's your name, brother?
Steve.
Steve, maybe you can help me. Dude, I'm not saying you're no dude, but you remind me a little bit of, we're a little more experienced, right? You might get this. Like the super young people here, you won't even know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to figure out how to. Do you remember old days? Like the old timey days? Yeah, that's because, Yeah, what happened was like somewhere in the 60s, you're smoking something, you wake up 30 years later on a houseboat in Sausalito going, what the hell happened? That's what? Do you remember? you wear your belt like to hold your pants up where it's supposed to go. Kind of remember that? Okay. Apparently now it goes just above your kneecaps is where the cool kids are, you know. So you got to think old-timey. In the olden days where the belt used to sit, this is your iliac crest, this bone right here. Back in the back, you're going to go, oh, look at that. Award. The palms of your hands. Put it on that iliac crest and that bone. One small push. You have a fractured pelvis, a femur fracture, a dislocation, you're going to know, okay? If they grimace or call you names, you apologize again. From there, it's gonna go down the legs. Anything hurt you here, buddy? I know, was it your right or left ankle? Left. I'm not that alone then, okay? So when you get to the bottom, I'm just gonna go, can you push down with your good foot like a gas pedal? Can you pull up towards your nose? That's it. So a patient exam, I can do it this way. May I? If he's in a car, brother, do me a favor. Yep. Right behind him come in. Good to see you. Thank you. Okay, so hold on his neck. So if he's in a car, right? You want to get someone in the back seat? Go and just hold on to his neck. Tell him, brother, we're gonna check, make sure that you're okay. Here's how this check can be done. Ready? Do you have neck pain?
No.
Okay, man. So just let me know if anything hurts you. Squeeze both my hands. Your chest. Sorry, won't touch you there again. Deep breath for me. Okay. Stomach okay? Yeah. Okay, legs. That's it. Looking for is ow. Don't touch me or push off. When you let that emergency unit show up, you just go, hey, this is my friend Kirk. You know, he bounced off a couple of times till we caught his kite. We just checked him from head to toe. His complaint was his left ankle hurt him, but when I touched him, right out of his skin. That is a touchdown. It sounds like not much for us. It's huge. Make sense? If he didn't have neck or back pain, the only difference on this whole thing, can you hold his head one more time? The only difference is that I would have started with no neck or back pain. I'd start from the top of the head, okay? And all I would do, I'd go, emergencies in general, how to be the one person or the many. So let's start with the many. So the many is, once I made that decision, I'm gonna go help this guy, okay? Call 911, tell them we have somebody down. Looks like they're conscious. Dude, let me know they're coming, okay? It's very important. People don't do this. When I ask somebody to call 911, say, hey, call 911, come back, let me know they're coming. Did you ever see the movie where the cowboys, you know, the pioneers are surrounded and they're all gonna die, and then over the hill, here comes the cavalry? That 911 call, that ambulance, that helicopter, that fire engine, that's the cavalry. And you wanna make sure that the cavalry is on its way. So the number one thing I want to happen, I want help to come. The reason I'm asking him to come back and tell me is because if he's not back within like 2 or 3 minutes to say, hey, Kirk, they're on their way, they'll be here in 5. I'm going to somebody else. Brother, call 911. It's okay to have various, multiple calls. If you're by yourself, and Kirk's gonna talk a little bit about water situation with phones and radios and all that. If you're on land, it's a totally different thing, right? So if you're by yourself, what you can do, if the person's conscious, you can do this. Check this out. So Aaron's not here. This can be just a backpack. Is this your harness? Can I borrow that real quick? Okay, Kirk, listen to me. Dude, you had an accident? I'm gonna call for help. Putting this here just to remind you not to move, okay? This is not gonna mobilize your head, but I want you to remember, don't move your head, all right? You got it? I'll be right back. This isn't gonna hold your head in place, but it's a reminder. Get something, sandbags. bags, one on each side. Run, call 911, tell them where you are. Come back here. And only job, if you're by yourself, your only job is to come back and go like this. Okay, stay with still, buddy. Help is on its way, okay? I'm gonna hang out. And less, we're gonna have to do CPR or something like that. But the helmet is a great place for you to hold on. So however, the same thing applies, right? They're just here. So the only thing you're gonna do, helmet on, you're gonna go to the sides of the helmet, hold on to the helmet, keep whatever position their head's in, them, reassure them till help arrives. Okay? Absolutely. So the majority of why it's so important to hold on to the head. So it's called immobilization. And the reason that every time you're in a car accident, the fire department brings their stuff in a back, puts in a neck brace, that everybody in a car crash has a cervical spine injury. What do you think? No, they don't. But why do we do that? It's a precaution because we don't know. So any sport that has the possibility of impact, and let's call it a sport. If you're riding your bicycle and you fall, you go over the handlebars. If you impact something solid, our first is always, so first thing, remember the ABCs? We'll talk about that. ABCs don't exist. They're CABs. It's CAB now. Stands for circulation, airway, and breathing. See? So first priority when somebody's down is I want to make sure, are they breathing? So if I go, buddy, are you okay? If he says yes, is he circulating? Does he have an airway? Is he breathing? So that's check right. Go to my, because it was an impact, right? I can go and hold on to C-spine. That is because it's on an impact, it's very easy to do something, vertebrae or your spinal cord, that could either kill you because of these changes, right? Or look what happened to Kinsley, you know? Put you in a wheelchair for life, you know? Or a respirator for life. So what we do is, because of an impact and there's high possibility of this getting affected, we immobilize you as a precaution no matter what, even if your neck doesn't hurt, to make sure that if something's wrong, you know. So when I had my injury, I might not be here. So does that make sense to everybody? Immobilize, immobilize, immobilize. Tell them jokes, tell them stories, keep them entertained, you know, distract them, keep them down. Okay, so now getting in closer to, head down, please. Face down. No, like flip. Okay. Oh, getting hug each, right? So as he's going by, first thing we're doing is what? Stop that kite. You know, now we stop the kite, I'm gonna come and check on him. Okay. So there we go. That's the way it should be. So again, up, down, side to side. That kite's secure. Nothing's gonna get me. It looks safe. First check that we do. Shake. Adults, we shake and shout. Kids, we don't shake, but adults will go, hey, are you okay? Kurt, are you okay? If he's unresponsive, what do I want to know next? Breathing. Is he breathing? Because what I'm going to do is going to be very different whether they're breathing or not breathing, okay? So if I can do this, or I can breathing, I can feel breath, right? Brother, can you 911 we have somebody down? They're breathing, but they're unconscious right now. All I'm gonna do is come right here, and where he lies, I'm gonna hold on to that. Now I'm gonna keep checking to see if his breathing is continuing. If breathing, it's the only thing that you need to do. Willing today. We'll talk about putting direct pressure in a little bit. Priorities are CAB, he's breathing right now. So I'm gonna just immobilize him, keep checking to make sure that, he's breathing till help gets here. Good? Second scenario, same thing, right? He's getting drugged down the beach here. Aaron jumps on him, detaches the kite. We're gonna go check him. Kirk, hey Kirk, are you okay? There's no reply, right? So I'm gonna come down here. The possibility that he have serious neck injury, pretty big with what his C-spine, okay? The more I have, the better. So I'm gonna fire you. Now, real quick. Here, how about you? Come on. So, I have a team. Why don't you guys come over this side so that everybody can see what we're doing. So, my job is to tell my team what I want them to do. We're gonna do a log roll right now. And I'll show you because somebody's gonna ask me, what if you're by yourself? A good roll with everybody here, and then I'll do one by myself, okay? So, let's get rid of it. Thank you very much for your pants. All right. So that you guys can see, let's say that we're here, and our only option is to roll them that way, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do, he actually made it, so it's called a log. The first thing is to make the patient look like a log, okay? So we're on a straight line right here. So it's totally okay to take his legs. Just gonna go like this. And see the arm here? If we try to roll him, he's not going to be able to pivot over this arm. So we need to move that arm. So all I'm going to do, because we're fortunate enough that he did this the easy way, if I just grab his arm right here, pull it up, here's my straight line. If I had to move let's say, just so you can see, what if the arm's all jacked up, that way? I've seen people do this. I'm going to be... I see people just they start yanking on it. Joints are amazing, man. So if you need to move something like this, check this out. Check how cool this is. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I just love it, Check this out. If you go, and you go. It's a joint. Get this one, you go, okay. Wait, I'm going to go. Up, nope, here we go. Here. Oh. Oh, look at that. Me messing up. Here with that one. That one. Joint. 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 Okay, one more time. So, joint. 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 Make sense? You have to look at it. The next thing I'm going to show you, you really have to look at because it's very confusing. You guys are just going to reach on that side. Everybody put their hands on that side. Belt loops are really good. Belt loops work great, okay? So be very specific. My count's going to go like this, guys. 1, 2, 3, roll. We're going to do it on roll. Make sense? Okay, now everybody back off a little bit. Here's your next challenge. I get trained in first aid. It doesn't matter who trains you. The person at the head is always in charge. Always in charge, okay? You don't like to be the boss of things. Comfortable with, telling people how to do things. You guys see okay over there? Natural tendency is to go like that. It just feels natural, I have to hold both sides of the head. There you go. If you can't see, make sure you take a look at this. We're Kirk in stereo. Okay, so your natural tendency, because of his position, is to go like this. Okay? If you do that, and we're rolling this way, look what's going to happen. Going that way, right? I'm going to have to let go. No good. If we're going that way, I'm going to, if you let go of the head, validate. So, like playing air guitar, before you roll them, you want to put your hands out. I'm going to way. So that doesn't work. Let's see. That works. Does that make sense? So everybody get in your place. So we're going to go on. So I'm going to take the leg. I'm going to have to scoot, right? So the leg to the side where you're going, put that out. Oh. Okay. Now, wetsuit, we can look at the chest. We can see if he's breathing.
Don't cut my lines.
Don't cut my lines. And kind of go from there. Does that make sense? So we're going to do something here real quick. Okay, you get to rest for a second. Brother, can you do me a favor?
Oh, yeah.
Can I use your face? Hold me, brother. Face down right there. Let's see here. Steve, do you mind, brother? Okay, look at that. This is not a computer class yet. Let's see. Two more. Buddy, can you help me? Over there. And B. Person on the ground. Buddy, can you help me out? Right over there. Okay, the guy. So pick 3 people to help you, okay? And you're the head person. Get 3 people to help you, okay? Brother, do me a favor. Pick 3 people. Is your knees okay too?
Are you the head person?
No, then that's okay. Would you do that for us? So say 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more person. Would you mind? Pick 3 people, and you're gonna go over here. Oh. And before you roll them, let me come to you. But get your plan all.